Hey mamas, welcome to day 9 of our fall 2024 Postpartum Fitness Challenge. So today we're working core and posture, no equipment, you don't even need to wear shoes. Let's come on down to the floor. We're gonna start with ab work and then move to some posture work and posterior chain work. So come onto your back. We're gonna begin by bracing that core. Take a deep breath in, exhale, draw the belly button up toward the spine, close the ribs, and brace. We're gonna reverse crunch, lift the knees over the hips, extend the legs up to the ceiling, and then slowly lower to 45 degrees. Let's repeat that. So knees come up over the hips, legs extend, and then slowly lower. Exhale as you pull in here. Inhale, and then deep exhale and breathe out through pursed lips, like you're breathing through a straw. And that's going to help you connect to those deep core muscles and fire the lower abs as you lower the legs. Now, the lower you go, the more you're going to feel that tension in the core. As long as you keep your lower back pressing toward the mat, you can go as low as you'd like. But if you start to feel compensation happening, either your low back's lifting or you see doning or combing, no, you can regress the movement and not go as low. We're going to stay on our back, and now we're going to go to a dead bug. So bring the arms up over the shoulders and knees over hips. We're going to take the front leg and the back arm toward the floor. So it's opposite arm and leg. So extend, pursed lip exhale as you extend away from the body. Bring it back in. Other side. So the arm goes over the shoulder. The leg can go to 45 degrees, or you can go as low as you want. Same thing with that reverse crunch and leg extension. You want that low back pressing toward the mat, lower abs engaged. And then also pay attention to those upper abs. As you take the arm overhead, is your rib cage flaring? Are those ribs staying tucked and stable here? If the answer is no, maybe break down the movement. Focus on just the legs and then add the arms when you've mastered the legs. And you can also bend and tap the toe as a modification. So lots of ways to be successful with this exercise. All right, continuing on, we're going to oblique straight leg, drops or bent leg. I'll show you both options. Arms wide, palms up. Extend your legs and then slowly drop your legs to the front of the room as low as you can go without that opposite shoulder moving from the ground. Same, exhaling as you move, and you're not twisting from your spine, you're rotating through the obliques. The thoracic spine is going to move, obviously, but the lower spine, we're not just letting it fall to the ground. We're controlling using that deep core pelvic floor connection and then the obliques to bring you back up to the center. And if you want to reduce that range of motion, make it a little easier, bend the knees here. Might help you get a little more spinal mobility as you bend the knees. But again, those shoulder blades are anchored, and that's going to keep that work from going into the low back too much. All right, continuing on, side plank with rotation. So we're going to incorporate some thoracic mobility with core. So elbow under shoulder, line up your hip and heel with that same elbow. We're going to lift, and I'm starting with my bottom leg down, but you can lift it up to start. I'll show you here. Tuck the top arm under and reach to the back wall, rotating through the thoracic spine, through the chest. So you exhale as you reach back and rotate, and then square everything back to the front of the room. So your hips are rotating a little bit, but they're not dropping. You can see I'm keeping my hip lifted throughout this movement. Now, if you want to advance the movement, you can scissor the feet. So you're on the sides of your feet here. Make sure that bottom elbow and top wrist are stacked when you're in that side plank position, so you're not excessively straining that shoulder. And if you do feel it like it's too much for your shoulder, you can always again place that bottom leg down and come here for the regression. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. So come on over, line up that elbow with your hip and your heel. Exhale, brace that core. Exhale as you rotate. You might find on one side you have a little more mobility than the other, and that's totally fine. This is great for just incorporating functional movement with core work, shoulder work, glute work. Even though you might not do side planks in everyday life, there's a lot of ways we rotate and twist our bodies. And so this is a great way to do that while also strengthening the deep core. And if you want to take it up onto the feet, Nice and slow here. Even if you only get a couple reps in, it's better to focus on just going slow and really working that full range of motion. All right, now we're gonna move on to a downward dog with a toe tap. So we're gonna incorporate a little bit more mobility for the back and the shoulders here. So we're gonna tuck the toes, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, push up and back, and then just find that downward dog first. Feet can be on or off the ground, as in the heels, and then hands are pushing into the floor and just push back, opening up that back body. Now, what we're gonna do from here is shift forward into a plank, exhale, opposite hand to foot, and then reset. Do it again. Opposite hand to foot here. So we pull that belly button in toward the spine as we reach back and touch the opposite toe. So we're getting the deep core, the obliques, all the things here. Hips go high. Again, your heels don't have to be off the ground, or on the ground rather. Either one is fine. If you have tight calves, hamstrings like me, you might not be able to get the heels all the way down. That's okay. All right, we rest here. We're going to a prone arm and leg lift. So come down onto the mat, onto your belly, legs about hip width apart, arms overhead. We're gonna take the palms to the ground. Now, front leg and back arm are gonna lift. Same things, other side. So just the arm and leg, your head stays down, your torso stays down. Squeeze your butt, squeeze your quad to lift the leg. And then shoulder blades slide back and down, lift the arm. So we're doing opposites, working those cross slings in the back of the body. Really good for just opening things up. We get really tight in everyday life, but especially if you have little ones, having to nurse, rock, bend over, pick up things. We're just in that hunched position a lot. So this is kind of what we're going to work on for the next couple minutes, just opening up that back body to relieve some of the tension there. All right, rest. Now we're going to stay on our bellies. We're going to take the arms wide, palms face down. This time, we're going to open to the side and look toward the front arm as we open and rotate that chest. So front arm, back leg, and we look toward the hand or the arm that's lifting. Tuck the chin so you're not straining your neck, you're not looking up, you're just looking over to that hand. Same thing here, squeeze the leg. So we're trying to get that leg all the way off the floor, even hip flexor if you can. And you can also kind of use that arm as leverage. The hand that's on the floor, push out of the hand to try to get a little more range, to try to lift the chest higher here. Now you don't have to lift that high, but if you can, try to get the upper body off the ground as long as it's comfortable. Just gently pushing, not trying to force anything if it's bothering you. Just reduce the range. You don't have to lift the chest as much. Rest. Okay, we are going to a back extension now. So you're going to take your arms over the shoulders. This time, turn your thumbs upward toward the ceiling. And we're going to lift the upper body. As we lift, we pull the elbows down and back, and then release all the way to the ground. So thumbs up. Slide the shoulder blades back and down, lift that chest, and if you can, lift that rib cage too. We want to try to really extend through the back here and open up that back body. Use your breath, exhale on the lift, legs stay down. This is the difference with this one. We're not lifting the lower body, so we can really challenge and isolate the upper body and the upper back here. Squeeze the glutes as you lift. Take it slow here. Again, much better to go slow and really work through that full range of motion than try to get a lot of reps in. Rest. All right, we're gonna finish with skydivers. So take your knees wide, heels together, feet flexed, hands on the ground. Now you've got a couple options here. So I'll show you level one. You keep your head on the ground and just do the legs. So drive the heels upward, lift the knees off the floor, lift the quads off the floor. So that would be level one, just the legs. I want you to exhale and push, driving out of those heels, squeeze your butt. Keep your head still. Option two, lift the chest and keep the upper body lifted. Squeeze shoulder blades together, but you're still looking at the floor, chin is tucked, And I want you to still focus on lifting those legs. If you can't lift the legs and do the upper body, just go back to the level 1 and focus on those legs. This one's tough. It involves a lot of coordination and it's intense. We can really feel that back body working here, but so good for improving posture, releasing tension, and creating a stronger, more resilient body. All right, we did it. That was day 9. So we're cruising through that fitness challenge. We're almost 2/3 of the way in. Let me know what you guys have thought so far. If you have any questions or need any feedback, be sure to answer in the comments or write me a question in the comments. I always try to answer and respond every day to your questions. So appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you back here for day 10.